Okay, guys, let's try it again. All right. Now we talk about the changes, right? So the steps to be taken to change official project documents, one needs to take appropriate steps. Otherwise, what is going to happen if the changes are not controlled? Can somebody answer me? Yeah, the resources will be wasted. It might end up you having a final account that is more than the budget, right? Besides that, it can dilute the deliverables, the outcome of the project. Because at the beginning, you say, this is what I'm going to achieve, right? Based on that, you plan around it. So when you get to the point of execution now, you discover that there are so many things are coming in. Obviously, it's going to affect the outcome, the final outcome. Besides the fact that you're going to waste money, or you perhaps you could save money, but the outcomes is not going to be the same. It's going to compromise it, right? You've already prepared the type of menu that you are going to serve, right, for your birthday party. Now you've gone out to buy things. As you are preparing the soup or the food, a lot of things are coming forth that needs to be added. It's gonna change the taste, right? It can be more better, or it can be result to a situation whereby you are not going to achieve the outcomes. That is what we are talking about, right? Okay, so a system to monitor, evaluate, and update the project or the scope baseline to accumulate scope change. So what we are trying to say is this: when you got a project, right, your project plan should not be something that is cast on stone. When something is cast on stone, what it means? You can't change it, right? You see, when people are writing this, you see this, what they call it, these stones they put in somebody buried ground, the graveyard. When you write something there, can you change it? You can't change it. So what it means is your project plan must be flexible. It must be flexible to be able to accommodate some changes. Do you understand what I mean? That is what we are talking about, right? So, automatic approval for emergency situation. You should remember what we said. For you to be able to control changes that could creep in during the execution of the project, there must be a mechanism, right? A structure laid out on how you need to do that, right? But that structure that is laid out, perhaps it could be very bureaucratic. You know what I mean by being bureaucratic, right? Because you need to identify first what needs to be done, right? Or what needs to be changed. Then you give it to the project manager, right? The project manager needs to do a kind of an evaluation, need to do a kind of feasibility study analysis in terms of this change that is being proposed to this project. What are the implications? And really, it makes sense, right? It does make sense. You don't just say any change that is proposed, then you implement it. Otherwise, everybody can become, even some staff, they can come to you. Perhaps they got a problem they got challenges of executing the task. They will say, let's change it. You understand what I mean? So you must guard yourself against such a nefarious activities, right? Nefarious activities, bad activities, or inconceived activities. So for you to do that, you must make sure that a form is completed. There is a form, we call it change control form. They can set it for you in the exam. They will give you a kind of a scenario of a project. that needs certain changes to be effected, they will ask you to complete a change control form. I've seen it in so many examples, right? The template is like a template, right? The name of the project, whosoever that is raising the, advancing the change, the reason for the change, the cost implications, and everything. The project manager needs to evaluate it. Then, even the project manager doesn't have the right authority to say, let's do it. The project manager needs to what? Need to inform the sponsor, right? Needs to cascade, need to inform the sponsor. Then the sponsor, based on the size of their budget, then they can say do it, right? So what it means is that it's a very bureaucratic system. Anything that involves a lot of administrative protocol, we call it a bureaucratic. So what we are saying is, though the system of change control, or yes, though the system of change management in a project is bureaucratic, but there are some exceptional cases. For example, emergencies, right? If there is any change that needs to be implemented that is of emergent situation, then those ones can be done automatically. That is what we are trying to say. Does it make sense to you? Right. So a procedure to record all approved changes must be known. So this one is another thing that you need to know about reporting progress. Progress, right? You know, in a project, as the project is being executed, the stakeholders there are interested in knowing about the progress of the project. And that is one of another fundamental importance of a good project manager. For your project to be successful, you need to make sure that there is adequate communication, good communication, effective communication, let me put it that way, between you and the stakeholders or between the stakeholders, right? Most especially in terms of being able to provide update relating to the progress of the project. So progress review, there are several meetings. I think there is something that jump here, right? This one started with something else. I don't know why, because yeah, meetings. Okay. Now we got progress review meeting, progress of project review against project plan. Guys, they can ask you in the exam. These are more or less type of meetings, relating to progress of reporting progress. Progress review meeting. They can ask you in the exam what takes place during such a meeting, right? Progress review meeting. This is what happened there. You try to review, right, the progress of the project against project plan. Project plan is the baseline. You know what I mean by the baseline, right? You've It's like your GPS. You know GPS. How many of you have ever used a GPS to travel? Have you traveled with it? GPS. Have you make use of it? Huh? Not directly driving. I remember 2015, was it 2015 thereabout? Or 2017 or 18, 19, 2019. I went to a place in Caledon. Was it Caledon? Mossel Bay, right? I didn't know where the place was. And I didn't want to ask anybody. Because when you start asking people, they know that you are a stranger, they can rob you, right? So you know what I did? I set my phone, right? On GPS, on Google, this map or whatever, that GPS. Then as I was going, it was talking to me, turn right. In the next 100 meters, turn left. I was following it. People don't even know that something was guiding me. Yes, I was walking. Yeah, you can work on your phone. Try it. Set it on your phone. Yeah. Then you're gonna be 15 minutes. They will tell you in 15 meters, turn right. Right? I was listening in my pocket. Then I went. Then later say you've arrived at your destination. Your destination is at the right. I told like this exactly. You see, then I went in there. Nobody, it was that thing that was directing me. Right. What if I had not listened to it? But if you don't listen to that thing, it will get to a point that it's gonna reroute you. If you have ever use it, you're gonna say rerouting, taking you back. Right. Okay, what I'm trying to say is a project plan is there to guide you. Right. So when you are reviewing progress, remember your project plan, you got schedule, right? Whereby you say, at the end of certain period of time, I should be able to achieve this. Right. So in progress review meeting, you should be able to present to the stakeholders what you've achieved to date compared to what you set out to achieve by measure of that same period. Do you understand what I mean? Like the example I gave to you yesterday, right? A project is for 1 month, right? At the end of 1 month, percentage completion, all things being equal, supposed to be 100%. True of us. True of us. Yeah. So if by week one, obviously you're supposed to have completed 25%, right? Week two, 50%. Week three, 75%. Then the outstanding will be 25%. Come what may, you're going to be able to complete it. Right. Then I said, if perhaps, right, week three, you are still lagging behind, you are at 50%. It shows that something is wrong. You don't need an expert to tell you that, my man, your project is running late. Do you understand? So during the project review meeting, you should be able to do this kind of review to present progress to the stakeholders or to whomsoever is concerned. That, look, this is our project plan up to date. We supposed to have completed this 75%. Now we've done it up to 75%. Then they're gonna clap out for you. Right. So if there are certain, or perhaps if you is not able to achieve up to 75%, then you must tell them the problem, right? Why the project is running late or running behind schedule, as the case may be. Do you understand what we are saying? Right? I'm gonna turn around now so that the camera gonna see you. Yeah, the camera should be able to see, right? All members of in the class. I hope it's turning again. It's not turning. Did I switch it on? I didn't switch it on. Did you see mistake again? But we're gonna get used to it, right? Okay. Then project progress report. It's a kind of a written report about the progress of the project. Right. What should be included in the project report? Right. Report should include information about the actual and intended achievement. I want somebody to explain that. Actual or intended achievement. Who can explain that? Who can explain that? I need somebody here because the camera is turning this way now. I need somebody here to explain. I can't go to the back because the chair is blocking it. I think we must look for a better platform, right? So that the people at the back can as well benefit. Right. Who can explain? Can anybody from here? Hello. Look at her. She's sleeping. Don't sleep. The cameras catch you sleeping. Who can explain here? Can you? Right? Okay. Right. So, what we are saying is the actual and intended performance. What is the actual performance? What you've done up to date. Understands it? Ninja, what you have done up to date. That is the actual, right? Ask this phone. No, don't worry about that. No, it's that my daughter's phone. She's gonna come back, but then I'm gonna have the opportunity to chat with her. Don't worry. Leave me alone with her. I know how to speak to her. Yeah. When we say actual, it's what you have completed up to date. Right. Then when we said intended is what is contained in your project plan. Right. Like I said, you've got a project of 1 month, right? By week 3, your intended should be 75. But the question is, have you completed 75? So what you completed up to date is for that week 3 is what we refer to as actual. Right. Then based on your project plan, it should be the uh, intended achievement will be 75%. Is it clear? Are you with me? Right. Then deviation from the plan as a result of problems, opportunity, as well as corrective action. This is very profound. Very profound. Right? Deviations. What do we mean by deviations? Yeah. Deviation. When you are moving away, hello, deviation could be as a result of changes, right? That have been perhaps introduced into the project. Right. You've already made your plan. This is the route I'm going to take. Right. For example, I'm coming to her now. Jonga, I'm coming to you. I've already said this is the route I'm going to take to come to you. Right. Now, all of a point, I started going like this. I'm deviating. Because when I'm going like this now, the route now will be much more longer. Does it make sense to you? Right. So, what could cause deviation in a project? Perhaps the taste of the client requirement. They can tell you, for example, your birthday party. I don't need that dress again. I need another one. I need something. You've gone out for shopping, right? You've already made up your plan. This is the dress. You've already targeted a dress that you're gonna use for your birthday party, right? Now, when you went out to do your shopping, then your eye came across another beautiful dress. Don't listen. Your eye is coming across another beautiful dress. And when you look at that, you love it. You fall in love, right? With that dress. Right. But the thing is, it's not the same amount. Perhaps it's more expensive now than what you've seen before. So it's now putting you in a kind of a dilemma. You know what I mean by a dilemma? You need to make a decision now, right? Either to forego what you've seen before or to purchase what is catching your eye at the present. What you need to do, first of all, before you can make a rational decision, you know what we mean by rational? Rational decision means well thought decision. Decision based on evidence, right? Before you can make a wise decision, you need to look at your pocket. What I say you're going to look at? Your pocket. Can I afford it? Right? Can I afford it? If I buy this dress, will I have money to buy all that stuff? You need to reflect that. Right. Now, when you discover that you still have bags left, you have surplus. You can be able, you will still be able to buy other things. What you gonna do? You buy the dress that you fell in love with. You see what I mean? That is what we are talking in terms of project deviation, scope change, and all those stuff. Use that, what I'm giving you now, to remember all those concepts. Scope changes, deviation, and all those type of stuff. Right? So, in a progress meeting, project progress report, it must be included, your report, that we've come across certain deviations that creep in perhaps as a result of, it could be client requirement, changes in client requirement, and this is how we were able to tackle it. Or if it has not been implemented, this is we've done our own feasibility studies. These are the cost implications. You put it in the report. Does it make sense to you? Then problems. Problems needs to be noted as well. Problems that you've encountered in the during the execution of the project needs to be reported. Not only project problems, you need to report as well opportunities, right? If there are certain opportunities that needs to be taken advantage of, what do? You report it, right? So if it is something that at the end of the day is going to enhance the outcomes of the project, then they will approve. Say, let's take advantage of the opportunity. So if there are problems that are challenges that you cannot be able to solve, then they can help you to put heads together to solve it. Right. And as well as corrective actions that have been taken. If there are certain actions, if there are certain problems that you will resolve, right, on your own, then you can tell them this is what I did. Or if you advance, in other words, if you advance problems, you must be able to advance corrective measures as well. Suggest what you think that can be done to resolve problem. Don't be somebody that is always putting problem on the table. Because if you are a project manager, during the progress review meeting, you are always putting problem but no solution. That means you are not a good project manager. It's better they remove you and put another person there. It's like if you are a campus manager or a boss, you are always complaining, reporting to a higher boss. That means yourself don't know what you do. You are unable to control your people. If I am there, I'm gonna take you out and put another person. Because if there is problem within your empire, right, you must solve it. Does it make sense to you? Right. Are you happy? Okay. I want you to be happy. Right? This one is very important. Right? We still have time. No? We still have a lot of time. I'm happy, right? Guys, listen, what are you doing there? Hello, what are you busy doing there? Ask us. Mind you, it's on record, man. Eh? People can be watching this thing in states. No, it's for you, not for people in states. Right. Then, meeting types. These are the 4 types of meeting. Guys, take note. It can come out in your exam. It might not be internal exam, but external. Be wary of it, right? Very, very important. Take note. 4 types of meetings usually take place in a project. We talk about the progress meeting, of course. You need to update the stakeholders as per the progress made, right? Then we have another type of meeting, we call it suppliers meeting, right? Another name for supplier is vendor. Vendor. You say you're not sleepy. I say you sleepy. Hello. Hey, you sleeping. She's sleeping in the class. Another name is vendor. Vendor. Vendor is supplier. So what do we call hello? You know what is supplier in a project? Supplier. Yeah, yeah. Supplying a project, they supplied the project, right? For example, it could be materials, could be raw material, it could be material, could be resources or human resources, people, if they are sources, right? Those days we used to have what we call suppliers and subcontractor. Subcontractor, they do the job, right? Okay, let me put it this way. When we are talking in terms of outsourcing, for example, we have a project, right? Like this project of 4IR, right? When they were doing it, they got the main contractor, they got subcontractor, like the one for electrical, the one for plumbing, perhaps, the one for maybe the air conditioning and all those type of stuff. Those ones form part of suppliers. or the ones that supply them stones, gravel, some of the materials they use. They are suppliers. And we call them vendors as well, right? Okay. Then you need to have a meeting with them as well because they are part of the project, right? You need to update them, most especially anything that relates to their supplies. Because during the meeting, perhaps if there will be problem of them not able to deliver to you on time to supply you material resources, they're gonna tell you. They will explain to you. Or you can discuss about the payment, right? If you are not able to pay them as at when due, when required, it's during the meeting you're gonna appeal to them. Say, we are having a little bit of cash flow, right? At this point in time, we will not be able to pay you. We'll just put it up a little bit. Maybe a few days later, then you're gonna be paid. Right. During the meeting, they themselves can come with perhaps problems or opportunities. For example, they can say, okay, you see, there will be a problem of supply of this material. We place an order from you, from overseas, is getting delayed. You know all those type of stuff because you need to be in touch with them. Otherwise, things will happen in the form of a surprise. And if it happens and it's something that is bad, your project will be compromised. You see, you need to be in touch with them. Does it make sense to you? Then project board and project steering committee. Yeah, I would like to ask you, what do we mean by project steering committee? Project steering committee. And what constitutes project steering committee? Project steering committee. The steering committee, they take strategic decision about the project. They take strategic decisions. So there should be time for them to meet to discuss about the project in terms of the way forward. You see, in small project, you might not have project, you don't need have, or usually you don't have project board or project steering committee, right? But in bigger projects, you got some of this nature, right? You know the 2010 stadium. Oh, how old were you during the hosting of the World Cup? You were still small, no? You were in primary school. You were still in primary school. 2010. Pratt, eh? 2010. Were you aware of it? When South Africa hosted the World Cup, 2010. How old were you there? You were still small. Okay. You know, when they were building the stadium, that was a very big project, right? So you had all these things, project steering committee and all those stuff, because it was a big project, you know. So they were meeting at certain times to discuss. Right. Okay. Guys, there's what we call ad hoc. Listen, that's a brief ad hoc. Right? What do we mean by ad hoc meeting? Hello. You explain. What is your name again? Why am I forgetting your names? You. Yeah, second to the last. You are second to the last based on the yeah. So what is your name? Huh? Kathleen. Is it Kathleen? You said? Huh? Okay. So can you explain to us what we mean? Yesterday you were all getting prizes. I was very much impressed, right? I was very much impressed. The overall, we took the overall position. Distinctions all the way. I was impressed. I went to congratulate Mrs. Mama. I said, management, we did it again. And we'll continue to do it like that. You see? Yeah, I was impressed. Congratulations to all of you, right? Yeah. And if you were not there, no problem. You still have the opportunity to be there. It's a challenge, right? Make sure you challenge yourself and make sure your name is there as well. Right? Ad hoc committee or ad hoc meeting. It's a kind of a meeting that was not scheduled before. Maybe perhaps something just happens. Hey, we need to meet now. Quickly. Huh? Yeah, it's a special meeting. If I may use your language, pardon me to use your language, right? Something that just come, hey man, we need to meet now. It's ad hoc. Yeah. So such meeting is very important as far as project management is concerned. Ad hoc, right? See what we have here. We said meeting scheduled, right? As needed. Younger. Meeting scheduled as needed when a specific topic has been discussed and a decision taken, and it cannot wait for the next formal meeting, right? All others are meetings that have been scheduled formally, but this one is informal. Does it make sense to you? Any question? Are you sure? So can I ask you a question? So monthly report. There is as well monthly report as well, right? That is drawn up and delivered, presented monthly. And what does it contain? Guys, listen, this thing is very, very important, right? When I say important, I mean what I'm saying. Very, very important. You need to put in the monthly report because you as a project manager, besides, focus, the period is over now. Okay, so guys, next time we are going to continue from here. Right. Okay. So can somebody help me there to switch off the video? But let me see. I've got, let's see if this is going to work. I got something here. Did it switch off? It's still on. Okay, maybe. Okay, you from there help me to switch it off. It's off. Where that red button is, the red button. Yeah, you see the red button? Okay, not that one. The red button is there. No, it's not red, it's this one.